Namaste, greetings and blessings, and welcome to the Center for Spiritually Integrated Arts. This is our Sunday message, and I am Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, the founder and spiritual director of this center. And I invite you to watch not only this Sunday message, but any of our archived messages. I invite you to join any classes or events that we have going on. I invite you to reach out and email if you have any questions. Questions about this community, questions about me, questions about what we do, or questions about this science of mind and spirit, liberation theology that we practice and teach. And if by chance you find yourself seeking beloved community with other like-minded beings, even if you already belong, are a member of another community, church, or center, you are more than free to have multiple affiliations wherever you are fed and find community. You are invited. And lastly, feel free to click like, subscribe, and share this or any other message or announcements with others in your circle. And with that, much appreciation, love, and blessings. Enjoy the message. Namaste and greetings. So that looks a little blurry. I'm not sure if I'm blurry for you, though. As they would say on RuPaul's Drag Race, why are you so... Never mind. Trace didn't know what I'm talking about. So, closing out September, huh? Prayerfully, you are seeing this message, and Tracy and I have returned safely from Las Vegas earlier in the month. Prayerfully, we are not still sitting in the airport the way we did so many years ago in New Orleans, or the memories. Today, Mission Possible. Yes, today we are talking about Tom Cruise. No, we're not. No, we're not. This month we are being encouraged to embark upon an inspiring exploration into the science of mind as it relates to this concept of hope. What is the science of hope? How does the science of hope and the science of mind and spirit, how do they align? How? Now is the time to go grab some notebook, paper, whatever it is Siri, record Reverend Ray's message today. Whatever it is that you do. Today, we are going to talk about what does it mean to learn how to cultivate such things as resilience. How do we unleash creativity? And what does it mean to manifest your dreams through this power of hope? So together, let's come on now, let's embrace hope as a transformative force in our lives, in our communities, in the world. Let us not miss out on this restorative, evolutionary practice. Hope awaits. Dun, dun, dun. Note, yes, there will be an acronym coming very soon, so stay ready. So, Professor, what's up? Do you know what it means to learn how to cultivate resilience? To unleash creativity? Oh, that's what we were just talking about. I do. Do you? Let's talk about it. Cultivate resilience, the ability to adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. Pause. Oftentimes, people think of resilience and these things, adversity, trauma, tragedy, we think of them in grand, demonstrative ways. We think of Katrina and the flood. We think of New York and 9/11. We think of these huge events. And yet, there are daily, what we will call micro adversities and micro traumas, micro tragedies, micro threats that cause significant stress in our lives every day. Many of us every day awaken to a new executive order or something, military takeover of a city, rainbow colors in walkways across the street being eliminated, yet another person being held prisoner. Aren't you a politician? How are they holding you hostage? And these micro adversities, traumas, Daily, there are some kind of embargoes and tariffs and lions, oh my, every day. So cultivating resilience is, how do I move through the daily stresses, adversities, anxieties that show up? It doesn't have to be the grand, large, huge events. Simply turning on the news may put us in a state where we are invited to cultivate resilience. We must never, my mind jumps elsewhere. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. There will be disappointment, but it's temporary. That which is hope is infinite. Yes, for example, Tracy and I decide to run a marathon. Both of us, neither of us complete the marathon. There is finite disappointment, but both of us commit to each other. We're going to train, and the next marathon, we got it. We maintain the infinite hope that says, don't stop. No, you didn't get a medal. You didn't complete the race. That's fine. You weren't ready. You did the best you could. You didn't have to run at all, but you did. So, do you still want to do this? You do? Then what do you need to do to be able to do it and do it the way, to the degree that you desire to do it? Accept the finite disappointment, but never lose that which is the infinite power of hope. Unleash your creativity, the ability to generate new and original ideas, solutions, and artistic expressions. How are we unleashing our creativity to create, to manifest a world that works for all? How is our creativity showing up in our daily lives? Not too long ago, well, several weeks ago now, Tracy and I decided, well, she brought it up. Remember that sandwich you got at Panera a while ago, and then you decided to make your own version? Yeah. We should do that again. Since our neighbors gave us some tomatoes and basil and stuff, we should, okay, cool. We went out and got the bread. I got some, Tracy doesn't like it, so I got some of my favorite cheese. Got stuff together to the sandwich and got some rotisserie chicken and boom, made a sandwich. Generate new and original ideas of things to eat. Creativity shows up in many ways. How are you unleashing your creativity on a daily basis? Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will, typo apparently, you will manifest what you imagine, and at last you will create what you will. Oh, you will what you imagine. Come on, George, speak English. You will what you imagine, meaning you use your will to imagine, and then you at last create that which you will, that which you desire to create. See, Tracy, it wasn't a typo this time. This time it was George's fault. Imagination. How are you tapped into your imagination so that your imagination, that which you desire, comes forth and is created? How do you manifest your dreams? A cherished aspiration, ambition, goal, desire, or ideal. How are you tuned in and tapped into before you even get to the manifest part, what is the dream? What is the aspiration, the ambition, the goal? What is it? And then what are you invited to do to manifest it? Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. Whatever you can do, go do it. Whatever you can dream, go do it. Start it now. It's a book. It's a podcast. It's a movie. It's a TV show. It's a Broadway play. It's a new dress. It's a new relationship, new house, new administration, new system of government, a world that works for all. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it now. Your boldness is genius. Your boldness is power. Your boldness is magic right now. Embody it and let it burst forth. Hope, a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Hope, a feeling of trust. As a verb, wanting something to happen or wanting something to be the case. Synonyms: wish, expectation, etc. Very often when we refer to hope, people refer to it as, I hope I hit the Powerball. I hope we finally get a president who's good to the people. I hope I don't have to wear one of those red hood things and say, what did they say? His eye be upon you or something. I don't know. I hope I don't. We're not talking about that kind of hope. That's passive and non-life affirming. But just starting off with a root is where we're going to start. So if you recall, I mentioned we were going to jump into an acronym. So hope, how, our, you still with me? Okay. How, our, power, expresses. Hope is how our power expresses. Remember the boldness, the genius, the magic. How does that express? That is what hope is. How does it show up? How does it show out? Hope is not some wishy-washy, fairy in the wind kind of, I'm trying to get a whiff of, is that, I think that's sage. I don't know. Hope is a grounded, visceral, embodied feeling that is expressed. So how does your power express? How does your magic express? How does your genius express? Hope is not an emotion. It is a way of thinking, a cognitive process. Now, keeping that in mind, and yes, that ties into the acronym still, but keeping this in mind, I want you to think about something for a second. I want you to think about this concept of hope. And as Brene Brown just said, it's not an emotion. It's not just the thing you feel, but it's a process. It's the way you think, which specifically ties into the first pillar of our mental equivalence, our thoughts, our beliefs, that the paradigms of our consciousness. Now, with that in mind, hope, thinking, beliefs, creative process, cognitive process. Okay, we still together. Okay. Pillar number one of our mental equivalence is the cognitive process of all we think and all we believe. And this is why it is so important for us to harness. To live without hope is to cease to live. To live without hope is to cease to live. What did Brené say hope was? To live without an effective cognitive process or an effective way of thinking is to forfeit one's life. Breathe. Our failure to embody and effectively use the power of our mind is, in essence, a way that we forfeit our lives. We cease to live. Now, when I say that, what am I talking about? Those who do not think effectively would rather believe ignorance is bliss. But we know it's not. To live without control of our cognitive capacities and power is to cease to live, because it means we will have acquiesced. Will have surrendered to someone else's thoughts and someone else's will and someone else's desires. We will be at the mercy of their cognitive processes and how they show up in the world. Very easily, we can think of any cult leader: Jim Jones, Charles Manson, Marshall Applewhite. We can think of many people. When the followers, disciples, members acquiesce their own cognitive processes, discernment, reasoning, they are then at the mercy of the cult leader and everything they say. Oh, you want me to drink this? What cyanide? Okay. Wait, what? You want me to give everything and move where? Okay. You want me to do what with my Nikes? And you, okay. Breathe. The Bible speaks of Christ in you, the hope of glory, which means a life of God already in us, because Christ means the perfect being, the being which all of us really are. This is why the Bible tells us to put off the old man and put on the new man, which is Christ. The mind of God is our mind, or we could not think. Christ, or the Son of God, is where we are and what we are. And there would not be any such person, or there would not be any such person. Nothing can be more simple than to realize that we are the presence and the activity of the living Spirit, that our mind is the manifestation of the mind of God. That's a lot, which is why we're going to remix it. There's going to be a couple of remixes, just so you know. First remix. Whether we use the term that the Bible uses, Christ, or the Sanskrit phrase, aham brahmasmi, or the concept from Buddhism of Buddha nature, Buddhahood, or from Taoism, the nameless Tao. Doesn't matter which term we use. The key point is that this divine presence and power must already be, not just in us, but must be all around us and must in fact be precisely what we are. Each of these terms and many others that we could use, in essence, are conveying the exact same truth that we are already perfect being itself as us now. This is why we do the spiritual practice, to shed the old mental equivalents regarding who and what we think we are in favor of the new life-affirming truths of our being. We transition and evolve into greater realization of who and what we are. There is one mind, and it is God, which means our mind is that mind. And it is by that mind that we are able to think. We are the presence and the activity of the universe right now. And our mind is the activity and the manifestation of the one mind. In other words, it is the manifestation and the activity of God as you right now. Breathe. Get up. Little Susie, get... Oh, wrong song. Okay, my bad. Focus. Albert Camus says, where there is no hope, it is incumbent on us to invent it. Where there is no cognitive processes that are life-affirming, we must invent it. We must bring it to the space. When there is no hope, when there is tragedy, when there is trauma, when there horrendous things are occurring, it is incumbent upon us to restore, renew, revitalize, reinvent, recover, resurrect the power of love and healing and comfort and that which is life affirming. Failing to do so makes us complicit. Breathe. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. There is freedom despite all of the chains. There is liberation despite all of the oppression. There is food despite all of the hunger. There is healing despite all of the disease and illness. There is democracy despite all of the fascism. There is a way forward. Even the darkest night will end, and the sun will rise. Breathe. So, question for you. When we're talking about this idea of bringing hope and expressing hope and all of these things, I just want you to bear in mind, I'll get to my question in a minute, but bear in mind, as Harriet Tubman said, every great dream begins with a dreamer. If you are that dreamer, what are you dreaming? Always remember you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars in order to change the world. You already have it. If God is all there is, and what is true of God is true of you, then we collectively already have whatever it is we need to have in order to create a world that works for all. Now, the question is, what are we doing with it? For example, if I'm thirsty and I have a cup of water, but I just look at it or I just think about it, there's a cup of water. I'm thirsty. Ooh, it would taste so good if I drank it. You said what? Ernest Holmes said the problem with this new order of is what? We engage in too much theory and too little practice. Are we practicing what we need to practice in order for the dream to become a realized manifestation? Are we ready to get up? Now, in referencing the get up, here is the main question I was referring to. Yes, the question is, if you are the dreamer, what is the dream? But also referencing this, do you know what this is in reference to? This image that is currently on the screen. Then Jesus said to him, get up, pick up your mat and walk. Get up. Then Jesus said, get up, pick up your mat and walk. How are we showing up as the very power of that same wisdom that speaks to all manner of humanity? And we are the ones who bring hope and inspiration, education and healing so that all people are able to get up, pick up their mat, and walk. In other words, to live their best lives. We are constrained not to believe, not to hope, not to long for, not to pray for, but to accept that it seems to be the nature of all thought to be creative. Some thought is less creative than others. And by the very token of this self-evident fact, there will have to be some thought that is all creative. What precisely? Let's remix. All thoughts have power to varying degrees, much like sound has varying degrees ranging from harmfully loud to those that are imperceptible to human ears. Let not our thoughts become rote and forced. Let us not hope in a passive manner where we simply long for and pray for, but will not take action for. Because all thought to some degree is creative, we should choose our thoughts very carefully, very mindfully, wisely, and consciously, while also knowing why we have chosen those particular thoughts. You good? Okay. So pause for a second, because here's my other question I want to ask you. Do you know who said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country? Who is the person behind the blurry screen? Do you know? Type it in the chat if you know. I'm gonna give you a couple of seconds. Type. Do you know? Okay, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Is that who you guessed? Okay, so President Kennedy phrased it this way. And I want us, in reference to everything we have just said, I want us to remix this and think of it in a different way. You are already the avatar, the superhero, the educator, the leader. You are already the agent of change. You are already the Christ or the Buddha, whatever word you want to use. So our invitation now, knowing this, is to ask, based on what brings you alive, if you remember from previous when we talked about Howard Thurman, based on what brings you alive, ask what the world needs. Ask what the people need, what the environment needs, what all of nature and all of creation, what does it need? And then do what you can do to provide what it needs. That's how we create a world that works for all. Not by trying to do something that isn't ours to do. It is not mine to do to open a restaurant and do whatever restaurants do. It's not me. I don't cook that well, nor am I that kind of a manager. So I use my particular expression of talents. I unleash my creativity, etc., etc. Do you know what the world needs? Do you know what people need? Do you know what the environment needs? Do you know what nature needs? Do you know what is needed that brings you alive that you can then do something to change the world? Learn to exchange fears, doubts, and uncertainties for faith. Faith can make you whole. Faith can convert fear into certainty, poverty into riches, disease into health. Faith can lift you from a valley of despair into a mountain of hope and certainty. There is a power which flows out through your words of faith. There is a law of faith which has the power to bring into your life everything you need. Yes, however, ding, 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 you guessed it. We're remixing this as well. Y'all starting to get to know me. So, learn to discern what your feelings of, like, whatever they are. Discern your feelings, whatever they are. Your feelings of fear, your thoughts regarding doubts, because doubt is more of a thought than a feeling. Uncertainties, what are they rooted in? Be able to discern, what is this? So rather than simply saying, I'm afraid, what are you afraid of? I'm afraid of giving my speech on Monday. Can you give it right now? Yeah, give it right now. Okay, that was fine. That was good. Yeah, but there is no but. Isn't that what you're going to do on Monday? Yes, but why are you afraid? Because it's going to be in front of people. Oh, so it's not, you're not afraid of giving the speech. And you're not afraid of giving the speech on Monday. It's got to do with the people who are going to be watching. Yes. Okay, so you're afraid of people? No. So what's the issue? Get to the root of it. Having identified what is at the root, you can now begin to apply life-affirming faith, trust, and hope. What is hope? The cognitive process our ability to think in life-affirming ways, how our power expresses. This kind of faith reminds you that you are right now whole, perfect, and complete. When embodied and applied effectively, it can heal the world and all that ails the world. But you must be willing to embody it and then apply the power that comes with it. It has to be unleashed. It has to be cultivated, right? Everything we talked about at the beginning. It has to be and then expressed. It is now known in modern medicine, in the branch called psychosomatic medicine, dealing with body-mind relationships, that in this deep subconscious or unconscious area, we have laid down thought patterns, whether we are aware of them or not, which are automatically doing things or causing us to do things. They're always at play. These thoughts, ideas, feelings, hopes, expectations, doubts, fears, and faiths make up that thing within us, which is either attracting or repelling certain experiences. And once again, you guessed it. Look, you're getting good at this. You're getting good at this. Okay. Modern medicine has progressed so much more since the time of Dr. Holmes. And so much more now is known about the body-mind connections and how to practice and what it means to practice holistic health and well-being that deals with the whole person. Despite this, many of us in New Thought today are unwilling to effectively apply the teachings in ways that will transform our lives and the world. If we believe these thoughts, ideas, feelings, hopes, expectations, doubts, fears, and faiths make up that thing within us, which is attracting or repelling certain experiences. If we believe this, are we finally ready to make the necessary changes regarding them in favor of greater health and wellness? We can't say we believe a thing and then not apply the thing and practice the thing. Don't tell me you believe thoughts are things, but you're not willing to have a new thought. Don't tell me that spiritual mind treatment, envisioning, but you're not using them for what? We must apply it. Science of Mind and Spirit 4.0 gives us the means to put hope into action and make faith a verb, and to live in a way that our habits and behaviors are prayer in motion. This is a grand opportunity for us to demonstrate the effectiveness of this teaching, especially with all that is going on in the world today. It requires bravery and courage of action to be able to stand, to be able to speak, to be able to shine, to be able to express, to be able to confront, and to live not just in alignment with principle, but as a living embodiment of it. Playing it safe, playing it small, being the best kept secret, staying comfortable is not going to manifest a world that works for all, but a transcendent hope that says yes This is not only possible, it is inevitable. That is what will manifest it. Breathe. This week's affirmation, our declaration, I will say it first. If it resonates with you, I invite you to repeat it with me the second time. I choose to know that anything life affirming is not only possible, but inevitable as my amen. Together. I choose to know that anything life affirming is not only possible, but inevitable as my amen. Breathe. And so it is. This week's Thursday night study group questions or your own personal journal adventure. What are some aspects of life where I feel or have felt hopeless, as if nothing I do could possibly change any of those conditions or circumstances? What did I at one time think I could not be, could not do, could not have? That since then I have demonstrated it. I didn't think I could be a minister, but here I am. I didn't think I could have that Silver Surfer statuette that I want, but I have. I didn't think I could be a Jedi, for real, like an ordained Jedi, but or whatever it is. Number 3, how do I express my power? Number 4, how am I cultivating resilience, unleashing creativity, and manifesting my dreams by using the power of hope? What is one such dream that I am currently manifesting, working on manifesting, in process of manifesting now? And lastly, what answers do I find when I ask what the world needs, what the people need, what the environment needs, and what all of nature needs? What answers do I find when I ask? And then, what is mine to do to provide it? Our practice this week. Are you ready? This week, have a conversation about your hopes, dreams, faith, fears, and how science of mind and spirit connects with them. How does the teaching help you navigate, help you strengthen, help you whatever, any of those things? Cool. And so at this point, we simply breathe and anchor into the awareness, knowing that that which is all there is. There is only one mind, and that mind is God. And that mind is infinite wisdom, infinite awareness, infinite intelligence. It is the all that is, and that mind is my mind right now. That mind is the mind of all right now, which means I have access to the infinite wisdom, intelligence, imagination, and creativity right now. That means I can access what is mine to do to create a world that works for all. And breathe and receive, and then allow that power to fill me up and then be expressed. And this is the invitation for all. How are we choosing to embody and allow our lives to be the amen of the universe? How are we speaking truth powerfully to those who think that their pseudo power is power when it's not. Just as we know that the bully has no true power, which is why they bully. They themselves are feeling insecure and inadequate in some way, and so they feel they must enlarge themselves and cause harm to another, to be accepted, to be feared. And we understand what that is. We understand the consciousness that creates it, which is how we also understand how to disarm it, diffuse it, dissipate it, dissolve it, and then in its place, heal the individual. We do the same with politicians and teachers and Supreme Court justices and this is how we heal the world. Whether it is family and friends, we do the same process. Whether strangers, same process. Members of our community, same process. People we may never, ever, ever see face to face, same process. Same process. We align in and as that which is the truth, so that everything we speak is the truth, the whole truth, and only that which is true. And we speak it with power and conviction, knowing that that truth is prayer. Knowing that how we park the car is prayer. Everything we are and everything we do is the activity of faith, hope, joy, love, the divine. And so we do it with that realization. And in so doing, the world is changed, transformed, healed, elevated, and evolved. So we breathe. What does the world need? What brings me alive? What is mine to do? How do I cultivate, unleash, manifest all that I am as the divine? Breathe. And knowing that this is the precise process we are all engaged in. We simply allow the law to do what the law is going to do anyway. So we stand back and marvel at the magnificent way that each individual shows up and shows out as answered prayer. And so it is. Breathe. Namaste, blessings, love, and appreciation. As always, see you soon. It's October. It's going to be October when I see October. Oh, it's almost Halloween. Uh-oh. Oh. Blessings, everyone.